Welcome to the Cups of Consciousness show. I am Aleya, your host. I'm a doctor of Oriental medicine, a sound healer, the author and founder of the 7 Cups of Consciousness. I have produced 9 sound healing albums and have recorded over 2,000 meditations online. I am an energy practitioner and help people shift their consciousness using their energetic fields. And this show is all about using your energetic fields to shift your consciousness, as well as exploring energetic concepts that help you create a more empowered and connected life. This episode is an energetic session that explores concepts, energetic practices, and protocols that are similar to a prayer, which help you transform particular aspects of your life. When you listen, recognize that some part of you is using your energetic fields to shift your vibration, which in turn shifts your consciousness, your behaviors, your beliefs, how you react and respond. You might even go into an altered state, so use caution if you're driving or doing something that requires a focused mind. With all of this work that I present, remember that it is your energy shifting you in your own unique way. That way you stay in control and empower with your process. So take a deep breath in, pull yourself into your line of light, and explore your inner terrain in a safe and supported space. Let's dive in. The 7 Cups of Consciousness podcast with me, Aleya, and amazing 7 Cups of Consciousness practitioners. It is such a joy to join you tonight. We are going to be holding space for insights, reflections on particular questions, as well as energetic weather and particular practices that might support you in your journey. And with that, anytime we are looking at energetic components or sharing information, we want to recognize that it's your energy field shifting you. You're extracting only that which you need and bringing it in for yourself in your own unique way. And when there is that sharing of information, my go-to is step 1, pulling self into divine line and calling in the guides. So let's just take a moment, taking a few deep breaths, pulling yourself into that inner river of light. And call upon your guides, your advisors, ascended masters, beings of love and light to encircle you. To connect to your own healing source, your own spiritual power. Call in shapes, sounds, and light that have the capacity to support you in extracting only that which you need, bringing it in for yourself in your own unique way. And if something resonates, take it. If it doesn't, leave it. Often when we ask a question and we get an answer, the thing that we want to listen to first is our response to it. And your response reveals your truth. So it's never right or wrong. It's more, does that have a resonance for where you are in your journey? And on that note, I am going to hand it to the practitioners. There were lots of questions and reflections that came in. Does anyone feel compelled to dive into a particular aspect? If so, just share what it is you're speaking to, the question that came through. You don't have to read it verbatim, but just the general gist so that our listeners understand the context and the insight solution that you see. Who's first?
Pilar, do you want to go first with your?
Oh yeah, sure. That's I was thinking about the request for releasing issues that belong to the ancestors and how appropriate is that need according to the season, because we are starting the autumn season and is the season where we get activated the lungs in Chinese medicine, the lungs and the colon. And the lungs make us get inspired. The need to take deep breaths, to contemplate. And the colon, the one that allows us to let go of things that we don't need anymore. And it's like a pause. And actually, they call the energy of the lungs the ancestral chi. So it's so amazing, and it's located in the chest area. So I think it's so beautiful that that to do that work, especially in autumn. We all need to do that, and to locate all the things, the aspects that we think that we are carrying from our ancestors, and just imagine that if we allow them to release, we are going to be able to take new air, new breath. And there are, like any release, you can use your imagination and start thinking first to locate where are those issues located in your energy fields, where is that they are manifesting, and start the process of releasing. And we have this technique that is going counterclockwise, very fast, spin up, counterclockwise, and then remember that we don't do things with the mind, we do things energetically. So we send the requests and we allow our guides to work with your energy fields to do the work. And then once we feel that is finished, and we can send the requests every day if you want, and honor your ancestors, make a ritual, release them, give them all responsibilities, and also be grateful because you are here because of them. So that would be my bit. Yeah.
Pilar, there was something really interesting that I mean, lots of all those layers, but there was something that really struck out, and it was using your energy fields, not your mind. And I would love to hear from each one of you just a short little piece of how did you make that shift of not using the mental body and shifting into using the energy fields for this work. Pilar, do you have any insights on that for yourself?
Oh, yeah, definitely. The first thing is to set up the safe space like we did here when we started, and get connected with your river of light. That's the first and foremost. Once you are there, you can you can start doing the request, and then you get a more vibrational, more energetic connection.
So just pulling yourself into your divine line in that safe space, maybe that quiets our mental body, and we let go of the mental body doing the work and the energy fields doing it.
Yes.
Good.
I can add on to that.
Yeah.
That pulling yourself into your divine line, and it also does create a quieter space. For me particularly, it opens my third eye that much more. And then I have this perception of fields, like kind of like clouds, and sometimes more like tornado clouds, like a tornado, and then seeing that twirl. And that's how I get out of my mind.
That's cool. I've been lately imagining that I have an energy bubble around me, and then, that's fairly big, but within the width of my arms. And then I imagine that doing the work, that either spinning or doing whatever's important for that protocol. And that's helped me just get a little bit out of the mental more and move into a more expanded experience doing energy work.
I love what everyone's saying. And I'll just add, sometimes I like to pause for a moment and allow my mind to do its thing, and to acknowledge that there's a lot of things my mind likes to think about. And so just taking a moment to allow that, connect in with my body, allow my body to relax. And if I kind of go through those stages and then feel my feet on the earth, it's much easier for me to kind of come in, and then I'm connecting with my heart. So those are a few things that I like to do.
Beautiful.
And to add one oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Nina.
Nina, go for it.
So to add on to that too, using the imagination, like Winslow had said, and I just feel it. It's like feeling the the energy field's doing the work. And then when you practice, it's like building a muscle, and then you will feel connected more inside, but you connect inside first, and then we make the request and allow the work to be done. But it may take 10, 20 seconds. It's not like, with your mind, it might be real quick. So you just gotta sit real still and just using your imagination. Then you start to feel it, and it becomes stronger and stronger each time you do it.
Michelle?
I love all these insights. And one of the things I do to get out of my mind and to kind of turn on my energetic fields is when I take my deep breath into my divine line, I intend and use the imagination to connect to my higher self. And the higher self is outside the mind. So when I'm using my mind just to make the request, to pull myself in, to connect to my higher self is connected to my energetic fields. And so then I can just make the requests to my higher self to do that energetic work.
Very cool. It's interesting. I've never seen it quite this way. And I love when like we all come together because we're sharing information. And Winslow, when you were talking about how you connect in with your higher self, I had this really cool image that I'd never seen before. Because I was asking myself, like, what's another perspective of how I disengage the mind or use the mind to make the request for the energy fields and then feel the kick of the energy fields? Recently, we've been sailing. And so we have the boat. And so I was thinking, okay, well, what if my mind was like the tiller and I'm directing the boat and my energy fields are the sails and I can't touch the sails and I can't get the wind to get caught in the sails, but I can watch the sails and then steer to catch the energy. And then I feel the sails, i.e. the energy fields kicking in. So that was my vision. And it might be kind of fun for each one of you, practitioners, listeners, to think about what is it that you do that engages the energy. It could be like, a wheelbarrow with stone, and you're like, my energy fields are the wheelbarrow and the stone, and I'm just pushing it in a particular direction and it gets momentum. Beautiful. Somebody was sharing that they become more present to the body and breath, right? Bringing your awareness into the breath, and then that dissolves the mental chatter. Beautiful. And on that note, does anyone have a particular aspect that was shared that you want to speak to? I feel like a star is hankering.
I'm just sitting here.
I know, but you might have a little thing.
The one that's top of mind for me is someone asked about intermittent fasting. And I have some experience with that. But particularly the piece of the question that came up had to do with sweets and having, even though it sounds like she's having success with intermittent fasting, she's also also experiencing a higher desire for the sweet. And when I look at it, I see that that sweet is like it's like a gift to yourself. It's like, I did good, and so I get a sweet. But then that sweet can also not, it impacts the body, and then the body's different systems. Pilar and Michelle would know more about this than me, but and Aleya, but these particular systems that would kick in and go, okay, I want more of that. And so the question that I would have to this listener is do you know the difference between a clean fast and a dirty fast? And that the difference there is it keeps the clean fast, keeps the body from popping up and going, hey, I want this, I need this now. and it stays more centered. Michelle, I know you know these words, and these words are just not coming to me right now, but what am I trying to say?
I think, well, you don't want to kick the insulin on.
That's it.
Right?
Insulin. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's the difference between a clean fast and a dirty fast. And
So Star, a clean fast, is that when you don't kick your insulin up and you don't
It's when-
jack it? So it's like if you're fasting, then you wouldn't break your fast with sugar.
right, you wouldn't break your fast with anything. But definitely, I mean, during the clean fast is not breaking the fast.
Right.
But truly, if you're coming out of your fast, you don't want to break it with sugar. And unless it's an apple, because the pectin in the apple doesn't have that sugar kick effect.
Interesting. What about a yam?
Yams are actually pretty high to come in with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more like a protein. You want to break with a protein.
Very cool. Yeah, because you have been doing intermittent fasting quite a bit. And can you just briefly share you, the soul, how you ride in the body and how you hold space for your body making that decision?
Yeah, me, the soul, has learned hard way that it's just like I'm the writer, and I'm having conversations, very constant conversations with my body of, do you want this? Do you not want this? And okay, you do want this, and there might be some consequences to wanting this, and that's okay. You can absolutely have that, but the next day you might not feel good, or maybe even a few hours from now you might not feel good. And that worked for a while. What I've been doing lately is to kind of give the body a more of, if we do this and you feel this way without it, and then you do this, and then afterwards, exactly how is it that you feel? And just starting to kind of categorize that. And she gets it really quick.
Wow. And then that increases the willpower, the control. It's almost like you're this coach and you're holding this space for your body to connect and reflect and feel the ramifications of potential actions. Whereas our body typically isn't wired that way. It's like insta. The body doesn't even think about like, well, how am I going to feel in 5 minutes?
Yeah, and you said it's like a coach. It's like the body's getting the information ahead of time. It's like, this is what could happen.
Right.
And then it does happen. And just like, oh, I don't want to do that again.
Cool. Really good. Excellent. Thank you so much, Astar. Anyone else want to jump in? Nina?
Yes, I was thinking about that. Thank you, Aleya. I was thinking about the sugar part, and also to add to that, if you were already kind of like addicted to having that sugars, maybe it might take a little bit, 3-4 days to come off of the sugar. Like you might have to like
a slow wean.
Yeah, yes, very. Thank you.
Instead of a cold turkey.
Yes.
It's a drug.
It is. It does taste good.
Looks like heaven and feels like hell. Anyone else on that or something different?
I'll jump into the, not unless anybody else has anything to say.
Go for it, Nina.
Okay. I was looking at the question about the relationship, and it was how to overcome a heartbreak and stop attracting relationships that are betrayal and abandonment. And when I was pondering and thinking into that question, what insight that came into me was definitely retrieving all of your reference points and all of your energy off of this current ex, and just getting back to yourself, like bringing all your energy, all your creative energy, returning any responsibility, retrieving responsibility. If you could feel into that protocol, and then the other part about attracting the new partner, I don't know that I'd do it right away, but you try to attract a new partner, depending how long, maybe some time to grieve over the current one, but is to clean up past relationships and doing protocols like sitting in a healing chamber with the past relationship person and just naming each one and returning, retrieving responsibility and just holding a space that you're cleaning. And if you need a little bit more, maybe past lives. I love working with the Mylan Time Lords and going back in time and cleaning past lives. So there could be a piece that you're still reeling from that's attracting this unhealthy pattern in relationships. And with abandonment, I would also look at not abandoning yourself, like connecting with your own light even more and loving it up even more. Just that little practice, finding a quality that you love about yourself. And if you can't find that quality, just think of a close friend. What would they say about you? Like, would they say you were kind? And just love that up even more and more and more. And I think that was about it. That's what I had for him.
That's so cool, Nina.
Yep.
I just had this insight of like back in the day when we were teenagers or in our 20s, and we wanted that relationship that we would just want to tear each other's clothes off. Those were fragments. That was karmic.
Yes.
And so sometimes the body's like, I just want that. And it's like, really?
And it's tough too, because it's in many ways the most intense.
The most intense and what we think we want, right? It's like the knight in shining armor where you just want to rip each other's clothes off. But again, that can be a fragmented relationship. We're just trying to get your fragments back.
That's right.
Cool.
Nina, I just wanted to say that, Nina, you are a master of cleaning up past, like going back in time, cleaning up traumas and rippling and reflecting those spiritual lessons. So just wanted to reflect that too, because we've, also practiced and had sessions amongst ourselves, and is really amazing.
Yeah, I love working with the time spiral continuum and going back in time and cleaning it up, because so many times we are reeling from past lives, and especially if you feel like you can't shift it in this life, or you keep on seeing a pattern, you're like, where is this coming from? I have no idea. So
I wonder if that's tied in. There was a question about like what happens when your body's in pain and it can't shift it, if that could be tied in with a past life that just hasn't healed.
That's right.
Right.
A traumatic death. Yeah.
Right. The kill point. And Nina, you said something about, loving up that light that flows within. And there was a question that somebody submitted of, I just want to get more connected with my essence. I just want to feel that light within me. And I'm just wondering, Nina, you just shared it. Like, what's that sweet little spot of you that a friend would be able to identify? But is there anybody else, practitioners, that could share with our listeners how you connect in with your essence that might be different than just pulling yourself in using the breath, using the imagination? What other threads do you work? Or just the breath?
I do feel, for me, especially on days where I feel that it's harder to really get in to my divine line, I do find that when I go into nature, even if it's just right outside the house by a tree, it like doesn't have to be deep in the mountains or wherever you live, but somehow being outside, it's like it's like so much more, it's so much easier for me to imagine my divine line, to breathe more deeply, and it's kind of like the magic trick for me.
Nature. Anyone else?
Nature.
One of the images that I love that I learned with you is imagine your body like an animal you can ride on. And then the first thing that comes into your mind, and then step down and take the saddle off and start observing the animal and putting that love It feels like it's an amazing way to connect immediately with the body deva. And when we acknowledge the body deva, and we are able to love it just the way it is, and taking care of it, acknowledge it, I notice that it's easier for me then go into my divine line.
It's like you're
My
getting positively, empathically impacted by your body.
Yeah.
But you start first with your body.
I start first with my body.
Cool.
Yeah.
One way I like to connect with my essence is to think of it as a color or a sound, and I really connect in. I can visualize that color, and I feel more connected into my essence. Or if I listen to certain music or sounds, or I even tone, that helps me to come in more to my divine line as well.
I'd say for me, the magic spot is calling in guides and ascended masters, because there's like this automatic feeling of one, protection, and the other is, being witnessed. And it's like that higher being witnessed it just becomes that much easier to connect into my divine line.
Beautiful. So it could be like a one-liner of like, guides, advisors, will you remind me of my essence?
Yeah.
And you're getting positively empathically impacted by your guides and advisors.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because they're in a connected state. So cool. Similar to Pilar, or the body. So we don't even start with ourselves. We start with a guides, advisors team. Neat. Lori, did you have an insight?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the nature piece, my guides and beings who tend to be around me, everything that everybody said. And interestingly, I am coming back again to the stillness, to on certain days when it's maybe a little bit more challenging, I need to take the time to be still. I need to take the time to sort of allow what's going on that has distracted me, because I'd like to live here. This is where I would like to be focused all the time. So if I'm not, why? And what is it that might need to speak? What is it that might need to shift? And so when I can come into stillness, be with my breath, be with my body, I can allow for those things, and then I can just move in and be present with my true self. So it's interesting that has come in twice tonight. So
Cool.
Hope it helps.
As you were talking, I heard that sometimes we get into the busy, like busy, do, get it all done so we can be still. Mm-hmm. But the do's never done.
Right.
So it's kind of that, it ties in with that, like we do the opposite of what we're intending on mastering, and it'd be like, I'm pushing on the door even though I'm wanting to pull it open. And so I love that frame of like, go into the stillness to find the stillness. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And as all of you were sharing your insights, I kind of had this pause of like, we're all in the Zoom room together right now, the listeners, all of us, and we're not doing, we're being. And maybe that's one of the reasons why we love to come together, and we love to have these conversations about consciousness and energy and being, because we are dropping in and doing what we really value. It's a reset. Who else would like to ramble in the being?
There's a couple of things I'd like to speak to, but the conversation we were just having about the past, and what Nina was talking about, some of her mastery. I was thinking about the question about present life trauma.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to bring that into that piece of the conversation because I think it really fits there. That so often in the process of trying to heal this lifetime trauma, it really is rooted in the past. And so it is helpful in my experience to, invite our higher self, our body's higher self, to go back to that original lifetime and see if those spiritual lessons that were intended then could be ripple and reflected into the current time. And that when that happens, perception shift. The way that I might look at that trauma is different. The lens is different because if the lens is connected to that other lifetime, then it's going to impact how I see the trauma. And so it can help with the healing. So I just wanted to bring that into the conversation that was already happening.
That's brilliant. And a question for all of you in what Lori was just reflecting upon. And each one of you have done past life healings with your own selves, also with clients. And have you noticed a continuum where the original trauma was either really, really, really gnarly or not so gnarly? And then each time there was another trauma, it just got bigger and bigger. Like any reflections on that, or no pattern to it? It's like if you eat something that tastes bad, then we eat something that tastes even worse to try to get the original taste out, or are we trying to find a little less? I don't know. Any thoughts?
I've noticed that that when we have triggers, sometimes we might find that it's like such a tiny little thing. Like you almost feel like someone just taps your shoulder and you blow up. And especially with kids, I've been noticing that recently. It's like something really seemingly so little happens, but it's such a big deal. And then that is an indicator that there's a lot of layers and a lot of trauma behind that one little molehill.
Or maybe it's almost like they're all connected, and like
They're
you
all
touch that
connected.
one little one and then it
Yeah.
flares.
It's like the domino, and then it's just. And so that is why if you can then find that root and go back, it's like such an incredible shift, because then you've really cleaned up the root challenge.
Or simultaneously heal all of them in the time continuum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get Nina to pull a puppy on that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Any other reflections on the mounting of trauma from lifetimes?
In my experience of doing past life work is going back to that root, that first thing, it's like it's usually so big. And it's, and I can experience through the person that I'm working with is how that big thing creates like a pattern that goes from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime to lifetime until it gets to the present. And like what Winslow was saying, in the present, it could just be like one little thing that will set it off. But it is, it's from that major thing that happened in the past. And almost every time doing this work, when you get it at the root, way back, doesn't matter how many hundreds of thousands of years ago it was, or incarnations, whatever, it really does change it here in the present.
Beautiful. Any other reflections on that piece or other?
A reflection that ties into triggers, but it's just something that I've been pondering, working with adults, children, also myself. And it's this idea around when we're really triggered by something and we're attached to a person or a situation or an event, it's like we're holding our energy in an inappropriate dimension for ourselves. And so I'm finding that when you pull your energy and awareness into a dimension that's peaceful, that's quiet, that's calm, and you imagine yourself like floating up a couple floors or maybe many floors, just in doing that, there's a shift, and it's like you're now in the appropriate dimensions for you. And I think so many of us who are interested in energy work and do the 7 cups of consciousness, we can find ourselves in the dimensions that we're not calibrated for, that are not appropriate. And so just by moving up to your appropriate terrain, using your imagination, maybe even going off planet if you need the extra kick, it immediately settles the fields. You can take a deeper breath. You have that peace. And then in that stance, the trigger, I'm finding a lot of times it's like it really disappears, or it's so gentle. And then maybe there's one other piece. But so just kind of playing with the idea of where we hold our energy and how important that is. So would love any other reflections if anyone has any, but.
You know what, I loved it, Winslow, like you weren't even doing protocol, and this is what happens when we start to use our energy fields. Did you guys all feel your fields shift? Because Winslow, you were doing it in your fields, modeling it without even full protocol. And also modeling to our listeners, the more you work your energy fields and then you start talking about something, your energetic fields come into alignment with what you're focused on.
Mm.
Did anybody feel the shift as Winslow was talking?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
Any insights on what Winslow was sharing?
Well, I just wanted to share just like the one little piece too, because I know for me 20 years ago, I was always feeling like, well, then do I get insights? Like I want to get my own insights and I want to be in my intuition. And so I'm finding with the people I'm working with, it's like when you do get into that dimension that is peaceful and calm and still, and you can take a deeper breath, then there is room to hear your own whispers, to just maybe you just have a heart knowing of what to do next. They can come in so many different ways. So it's like just creating the peaceful, still terrain, as Lori has been talking about, to use your own senses and awareness to move forward or to have clarity on a situation and to also resolve triggers.
You could be in like a mantra of like just stillness, just stillness, just stillness.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
I think it's important also, like immediately you feel triggered, or this is what I do, immediately go vertical. It's like this, that's my escape room. And I immediately
your healthy
imagine,
escape room.
yes, exactly. And immediately I know I have to go higher and higher and higher to my spark of light. And then is when I start feeling a little less adrenaline, less triggered, my body start calm. And then I have these insights or whispers or voices. So just intuitively, I start gravitating towards something that is even healthier, right? Than reactive. Yeah.
And for me, on that note, Pilar, is the trigger for me when you go vertical, I go, okay, what's good in this? What am I? Oh, maybe I need to value and embrace and cherish my gifts even more inside, more inside. Yes, it's definitely going inside and just like value myself even more to like calm that trigger. And if that doesn't do it, then maybe it's the past lives I go back to.
That's great. Any other insights before we shift gears into energetic weather insights? Or questions that you're like, oh, I really want to speak to.
I think I'd like to. Oh, sorry, Michelle, you want to go?
Well, if you want, well, I can go or you can go.
Michelle, go for it.
There was a question that I just wanted to talk to really quickly in relation to when one is frustrated in their creative process and they really are wanting to get things accomplished. And what I saw is in that process, there's a lot of pushing. And so there's so much pushing that they're pushing the creative effort outside of themselves. And so then because that's outside of themselves, it's hard to have discernment about right timing or what to do next or the flow. So in that process would just be inviting your creative energy back to you and to lift your energy off of the outer project so that you're not pushing it away. And then you can have when the weight is with you rather than on the external, then you'll be more in alignment with divine timing.
Beautiful. Michelle, as you were talking, I saw it's almost like you're dancing in your creative fabric vertically instead of horizontally, and then it propels. That was a really beautiful image you vibrationally conjured. Anyone else want to share an aspect, a question before we talk about energetic weather?
I'd like to, there's two things I'd like to speak to. One question about retrieving attachment energy off another. I want to say first about that. I feel how important it is to be patient, that we haven't been taught in our culture. We don't know that this is happening. And so it's a process. Discern.
Lori, just make sure that your mic is really clean. There's a little fabric sound or...
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, try again. I think you're good.
Okay.
Okay, start talking again.
That I don't know where that was coming from.
That's okay, go for it.
No, there it is again. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure. It wasn't happening before. I haven't touched anything, so. Yeah.
We'll just do a quick mute. Okay, try now.
Okay, is that better?
I think so.
Hopefully it's better.
Okay.
Okay, so being patient with ourselves. And I think that it's a process of being able to feel when we do reach out with our energy, when we do make those attachments. And there are certain things that for me have been my cues, first of all, wanting someone to be different than they are, wanting to help. There's so many layers here, and I know we're short on time, so I'll just give a quick example, like with my children. If I'm worried, if I'm wanting to fix something, if I'm wanting them to do something differently, I am attaching. And so just knowing that and looking for those cues. And then at the beginning, it can just be intention, right? Intention, imagination to bring that energy back to ourselves. And then the lovely part of it, of being able to then model the solution, because then we get to be in the beautiful frequency that we would like to be in. And then that they can choose to mirror it or not. And that's fine. So, and then I just really quickly wanted to speak to Katie's question about the body. And I just will say this is something that could come up again. This is, but to check in with body related to her brain and nervous system. So often, the nervous system will decide that an emotion, a difficult emotion, is more dangerous than a physical pain. And if that's the case, then the physical pain is more connected to the emotion, and the pain is real because the nervous system is sending the signal that there is a problem. And so we feel it. So just continuing to check in with body around, is there emotion that hasn't been fully expressed? Is there, and just checking in with brain, nervous system, that kind of thing.
I just heard the words, the emotions are the same as a saber-toothed tiger, right? It's
Yes.
like the body cannot differentiate,
Right.
and it can't differentiate the amount either. So like the rolling of the eyes is the same as the punch in the face. It's like we can't discern the difference between what was just a little thing.
Right.
Lori, brilliant.
And it's the nervous system's job to protect us.
Yes. And you do 7 cups, you use energetic protocols, but you've also researched other different healing modalities. Do you briefly kind of share that information so that people can go check that out as well?
Sure. I mean, I think probably any kind of brain rewiring, brain retraining.
What was the program you used?
So the first one program is called DNRS, Dynamic Neural Retraining System. There's also a woman named Nicole Sachs, SACHS, who does the work of John Sarno and really goes into some simple practices on how to kind of move this along. So,
excellent. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that resource. Beautiful. And on that note, sharing our insights. If you were to tune into the energy of what we're in right now and what we're headed into with the thinning of the veils, getting closer to Halloween, do any of you have any insights on energetic weather for our listeners and what they can do inside themselves to utilize this time?
Well, I have an insight. What I've been experiencing is the desire to clean my fields, clean my outer world as well. And so that, that utilization of the energetic field, especially if you're wanting to cleanse your energy, of using the counterclockwise motion to cleanse. You could even put in, salt, energetic salt, or sage, or lavender, or whatever you feel like you would want to have support in that energetic field to clean. And of course, you could do the same in your spaces too. You could have an orb of salt or sage in a space and cleansing it and cleaning it. Of course, also actually cleaning the space. And I feel like it's been like I want to get everything in order. And I think that has a lot to do with this, the eclipse we had, the new moon we had in Virgo. Like there's just that energy of wanting to really clean and cleanse and shift in that way to prepare for the season that's coming.
Anyone else?
This is a time of magic. And you could think about one, what does magic mean? What is your magic? What's magic to you? And then it could be something in nature, it could be the fairy realm, a magical realm, something else. And then to witness that every day, just for a couple moments. And I find that in witnessing your magic, whatever that is, it creates like a moment of sweetness, of peace, and it can settle your energy fields. It like calms the body. And then that can also ripple and reflect into aspects of your life. I guess in that vein too, you could also be activating your own magic, whatever that quality is for you, more in your divine line.
Anyone else? Mine is to, as the veils thin, it's to let yourself go into a timeless space. So even if you only have 10 minutes, how can you say for the next 10 minutes, there's no time? And be in this place of stillness and not rushing and not hurrying and no agenda. And you're just being with your body, with your feet on the ground, with the food in your mouth, with the breath in your lungs, and embracing every moment. And then you drop into this very timeless reset that then opens your fields, cleans your fields, and grounds you. So the timeless practice over the next few weeks. Anyone else?
When I feel into the weather, it feels like it's going to be a little bit slower pace. So it's like just like what you said about being timeless. I like that because I was feeling into reminding all our listeners that feel into your own unique timing, whatever that may be. It might, your partner might be really, really fast and you're starting to go faster. Like, wait, why am I rushing or being fast? That's not me. So just check in with yourself and ground. Feels like the trees, PLR said their leaves, well, their roots are expanding. So expand your roots as we're going into the fall, winter. It's like, feeling into your support system.
So good, Nina. Stara.
I have a sense because of the thinning of the veils, there's been a lot of sun activity, a lot of solar flare activity, and the combination of the solar flare activity and the thinning of the veils, that we're more impacted by the things that we're holding on to. And we're all talking about this, about cleaning, and it's really kind of imperatively important right now to just do something, a little thing every single day that you're cleaning your environment, you're cleaning your fields, and then that way this thinning and sun flare activity will not have as big of an impact.
Also, too, there's a major grid shift, right? So you might even want to like move furniture around, and that's part of that reorganization. And so it's almost like a frantic shifting of the grids, and then we feel the grids shifting here. So, you're not crazy. You're just feeling the energy. Obsessive compulsive mover and cleaner. Pilar, Lori, do you guys have any insights?
That brings me to what's been coming in for me, and that is, I don't want to really use the word vigilant, but just a more regular checking in with where I am. Am I in my divine line? Am I remembering who I am, or am I caught up in the 3D density? And so just kind of connecting in maybe a little bit more often with that, so it doesn't take long to get back. No.
The mini moment. Right?
Adding to what you said, Aleya, about the grids, and it's like something that's, at the end of all of the protocols where we say to, we invite our higher selves to update all of our grids and our reference points. And it's like, so we can be aligned with these shifts and changes just with a request.
So great. Pilar?
Thinking about the present moment, the moment of contemplation where you just being, thinking about that your light is perfect, my light is perfect, and everything is perfect just the way it is. Just like a mantra, and make you just breathe so deeply.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So good. All of you, such deep wisdom. And I would like to take a moment to do a little call out. Calling out to Winslow and Pilar, who just spent the last 3 months re-editing the Spanish version of Cups of Consciousness. Thank the two of you. Like, oh my God. So we had it translated into Spanish, and then Winslow and Pilar have done this final editing of it. I think it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
So
Yes, but beautiful. Yeah.
But really beautiful. And
Yeah.
and Pilar, I'm excited because Pilar then brought in it's like, it's not in direct translation, like bringing in the feel of the warmth and the consciousness of the 7 cups. So I feel like, Pilar, you brought in like the warm blanket that it is.
Oh, thank you. And it's so beautiful. I really am even more fascinated by doing it in my native language. It really is a embodiment of the concepts. It's such a big contribution, I think. Yeah.
Huge. So putting you on top of a mountain, both of you, and just thanking you eternally for doing that. Yeah.
Thank
And then the journey of sharing it with the world in the Spanish genre and or avenue. And so if anybody is listening and they know connections for sharing the 7 cups in Spanish, feel free to reach out to us. And I just want to thank each one of you, maybe to have each practitioner share one word that people could hold in their hearts as they journey for the next few weeks until the next podcast. Gentleness.
Connection.
Courage.
Love.
Transformation.
Repeat.
Transformation.
Powerful.
kindness.
Lori, will you share yours one more time?
Love.
Yay. Gently wrapping yourselves in sheets of rainbow light, holding space for you to receive this information, to tap into your own wisdom, your own knowing as the veils continue to thin, sealing these vibrations in to whatever degree is appropriate for your spiritual evolutionary state. We are in deep gratitude to your curiosity, your gentleness, your kindness, your courage to hold a safe container for all of us to share and delve deep. Let it be so. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for listening, joining us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
You have been listening to the Cups of Consciousness show with me, Aleya Dow. Receive a free month of the Cups of Consciousness. Go to 7cupsofconsciousness.com. When you get your free month, you will get 5 cups a week for 4 weeks. You'll also receive access to a live Tall Cup of Consciousness session. Feel free to review the show. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Aho.